Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pursuit Live. I'm your producer, Chris, and joining me, as always, my partner in lives, Mr. Dave Hawkins.
What's up, everybody? What's going on?
All right, so I do have a last-minute apology for everybody. Our guest for tonight had listen, this is real life. He had a last-minute family emergency. He couldn't make it tonight, so we're going to run it because that's what we do. So we will be bringing you the guest that we had planned tonight at a later date. And tonight you get to enjoy the company of Dave and I. Our program manager, Rob, will be joining us a little bit later. So with that, I do want to open with a couple of announcements. Number one, we still have tickets available. We have to sell the tickets before we do the drawing. So if anybody is interested in the Pursuit Live 2024 charity fundraiser raffle, please reach out to Dave or myself. We are raffling off 2024 Matthews Lift with the quiver, with the stabilizer, QAD drop away rest, Trophy Ridge Alpha React 1 Pro sight, half a dozen Easton arrows, a pack of G5 broadheads, Delta Mackenzie shooter buck target, and a ground blind. Am I missing anything, Dave?
You got it, my man.
There you go. $20 a ticket gets you in. All of the proceeds are going to the American Bear Foundation, Wounded Warriors in Action, and the NYPD Archery Team. We're not keeping a dime of it. Everything is going to all these organizations that are doing great things in the community. So please, if anybody is interested, reach out to Dave or myself. We'll get you hooked up with tickets, and we'll go from there. With that, as you guys will see, we are live on our new platform. Currently, this is the first show where we are now simulcasting not only on Instagram, but YouTube and Facebook. So please, if you're not already, head over to YouTube after the show, check out @Pursuit Live, and hit that subscribe button. We're going to be launching all of our shows on YouTube as well as Instagram now. So please do us a favor, head on over, check us out. With that, Dave, what do you got?
I'm going to piggyback on what you just said right there. Being that we are live from Pursuit Live, I think this is probably the first time we've done that. So for the next couple of episodes, if the viewers don't mind and you're enjoying the show, you can actually share the episode, the live, with others. If you go to the lower right-hand corner, you hit the triangle, the arrow symbol there, and you can actually click all your followers that you could send it to as a message. So for the time being, the more exposure we can get and drawing it to the actual Pursuit Live page, that'll definitely help. I think a lot of people at this point are tuned into, seeing the Only Bows logo live, or maybe my Urban Pursuit logo live. So we're going to try and transition away from that. We know it's going to take a little time, but the more we get it out there, the more exposure it gets. I think everybody will know on Friday nights at 7:30, they're going to look for the official Pursuit Live logo, which, again, that was the end goal for this page anyway. So we're kind of catching up with everything. We're starting to catalog all the episodes. We're cross-streaming episodes now, which is really cool. So we've come quite a long way, let's say, from when we were just shooting the shit on a random night. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, actually.
Dude, I got to agree. Anybody that's been watching the show for the last year or so that we've kind of been doing this, we've come a long way, and this really evolved out of something that really started from nothing. I mean, I think the first time I ever tuned in with you, Dave, John and I were actually out at the cigar bar. We were having drinks and cigars with the boys. Yep. I was watching a show that Dave was doing. He was having a chat with another guy. They were just shooting the shit about hunting. I think I messed up and actually hit the join button. Dave included me, and I was like, oh, I don't know what I did, but great show, buddy. Like I was just sitting here with the boys and just wanted to say, hey.
Yep. No, it's true. We got to try and find that clip. Even if we can find a clip of that, that'd be pretty funny.
I think that was in the days before we knew we had to save everything. So
yeah, probably without a doubt. So I mean, this is it at its roots. So I mean, honestly, we talk about it a lot. We've had a couple different, I hate to use the term, but maybe it is official, like a slogan for the show. We have the one, measure the story, not the inches, which we both like that because that has some meaning to it. But Chris, you mentioned this a lot. Like, we're trying to keep that outdoor spirit alive. like that deer camp, sitting around the fire spirits. So in essence, when we do shows like this, trust me, we wanted to have, our guest was supposed to be Hunt Chef tonight. We already got him in the works. We're going to reschedule him. But, again, real life happens. People have lives, everyday lives, family, whatever's going on. So, but tonight when we do these open mic nights, it's just another way of we're just hanging around. This is that, that deer camp mentality. If we got a certain topic anybody wants to talk about, Chris and I have a couple of things we're going to touch on, make sure we give you guys a good show, but this is what it's about. We all enjoy the outdoors. This is pretty much a heavy hunting crew, but again, this is why this show is very versatile. We try very hard to keep it versatile. We can talk about anything. We're not pros on everything, but you know what? We can get you whatever info you're looking for. So that's where I think we're trying to stand out and keep it entertaining at the very least every week.
Well, I mean, we try.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the thing. Now it's not entertaining anymore. You fixed all your internet issues. You got a new computer. I got all this new software. We got too much going on now. And I will say, I want to apologize to everybody. I don't know what happened with the software, but for some reason, I am live from the Pursuit Live page, not Only Bows. So thank you everybody that was joining watching the Pursuit Live page. I mean, yeah. that was a mistake. I don't know what happened there. It was all set up to go on from Only Bows, but apparently we're live on all the Pursuit accounts. So
there you go. This is the
there you go. So with that, I want again, I want to take a moment and just say, thank you everybody for your support over the past year and in everything that we've been doing. And that's kind of that's really why we do it. We don't make a dime doing this. Like, this costs us money. And even if we were, somebody offered us money for this, that's not why we're here. All right. We do this because we love the outdoors. We love the outdoor community. Jesus Christ. What the trying to give a heartfelt speech and you're just, well fuck me. Fuck me, I guess, and anything I got to say, So, yeah. So if anybody's wondering, I know we just saw the question, John, there. The Pursuit Live YouTube is at Pursuit Live. That's it. Check it out. So again, just to sum it up, thank you all for supporting us and what we're doing. And hopefully we can keep building the show and keep giving you a better broadcast. So, yeah, with that, Rob will be joining us.
Producer Chris might shed a tear on us.
Listen, I had it. It's been a long week. All right. I just poured my second drink.
Cheers.
So you know what? There you go. Prost. Happy Friday. Those of us here in New York, we just survived a massive earthquake with aftershocks. I don't know if you felt it. I was on the phone with somebody on my ride home, and literally, I'm talking 6 hours later, they were like, "Oh my God, my house is shaking." I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Oh my God, it was an aftershock." So, yeah, apparently we survived a couple of good earthquakes here. They were like, what, a 4.7, Dave?
Yeah, it was something like that. I think the epicenter was in Jersey, so that was something different. I didn't hear it. I was all the way out in Southampton. So.
Well, see, this is the weird part. Those of us in New York City that were working today, we were all like, "What? There was an earthquake?" Like, everybody's phones went off with the alert tone. 20 minutes after the earthquake happened, they're like, "Oh, there was an earthquake in Jersey. Everybody stay indoors." We're all like, "What are you talking about?" Like, what? I was sitting, and I'm not going to lie to everybody. If you've never experienced an earthquake, like, this is not the first one that I've been through, and it's not all that fun. Like, I was sitting in my truck, and honestly, I've been in Long Island City, New York, and had the wind blow and shake my truck harder than that earthquake this morning. So, listen, I don't know, maybe, I didn't see any buildings fall down. Nobody got hurt today. So, I don't know what the rest of the world is doing, but, maybe San Francisco, I don't know what their infrastructure is like, but maybe they should take a lesson from what we're doing over here, because it's working.
All these on the payroll, I guess.
Yeah. Listen, as long as you got guys like me that are out there building back better, we're going to make things earthquake proof for you. Don't worry about it. So with that, honestly, actually, I'm not going to lie. Maybe the earthquake was just a natural reaction to what's happening Saturday. They were trying to shut it down, and listen, they can't stop the party from coming. So, in case anybody's wondering, the Garden State Outdoorsman, BD Hunting, along with his entire crew, they are putting on a game dinner Saturday, 6 p.m. If you haven't, if you're in the area and you haven't purchased tickets already, please reach out to Mike at BD Hunting or the Garden State Outdoorsman. He's putting this on in collaboration with Back Dam Productions and American Mike. It's going to be a good time. Dave and I will both be there. We're going to be bringing some of the good stuff. We're going to,
we'll be in the back, I'm pretty sure. Like,
yeah, we've already reserved our own table where we can sit there and,
heckle.
Yeah, basically heckle. We're bringing a couple bottles. We're going to have a good time. So if you, if you're in the area and haven't purchased tickets already and want to go, please reach out to BD Hunting. And I know there's still tickets available, so it should be a good time. Anybody that's going, we're already looking forward to seeing you. It's going to be a blast. So, what else you got, Dave?
Well, we might as well dive into some topic tonight before we get too far down the rabbit holes of open mic night. But,
all right. So,
well, I got something. I think it was either Jason. Yeah, it might have been Jason. He was asking what slate call I was using. So, I mean, I have it right here. It's always fun to them out in the shop. That's just a simple bone collector, standard slate, with a wood back, and then there you go. I just scuff them up with a I see
not so funny meow, is it?
Just like that. I stuff them up real good with the green Scotch-Brite, or really, if needed, some emery paper. The Scotch-Brite works really good on the slate, as well as this is a Primos all weather. So if this one actually still strikes pretty good, even if it gets wet. So again, I am not turkey hunting on my level. I'm down in the basement here. I've only got one bird under my belt, but I like having the two slates because obviously, if this one gets wet, it's nice to have a backup. So this is the composite slate with the composite striker.
Woods wants to hear the best hoot.
You got me, man. I am not a hooter.
Listen, I'd have to go get it out of my vest. I mean, it is hanging up over there, but
so
maybe in a little bit.
Hooter. Yeah, has anybody, for everybody in the comments there, I'm trying to focus on both screens here. Do you guys honestly have a lot of success with hooting or shot calling?
Yes. Yeah, as a matter, I will answer that. I have had more success roosting birds with an owl call than I ever have with a crow call. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you that using a crow call, I've never had a bird respond.
Okay.
Never.
All right.
Owl calls, I go out, I can roost birds, no problem. Even later in the day, you get into the afternoon, you just hit it a little bit, you get a reaction gobble sometimes.
Right.
But I've never had good luck with a crow call.
All right. So turkey hunting for me is definitely something I would love to get into it more. It's very tricky on the island to hunt turkeys, honestly. This is only the second season where you can actually hunt on public land, but the system is it's like a lottery system, like how we have the shotgun season here in January. So you got to submit your paperwork to the state. They let you know. This is vaguely the process. Outdoor Tommy will fill me in. I know he's going out. They pretty much tell you which day you can go and hunt. And I think you get one day, and then you out of a choice of a couple spots, you try and pick one, and then hopefully you get it. So it's not like you could just pull up one morning, get out of your truck, and go turkey hunt. It's a little odd. I mean, I get it because with the shotguns and the tight vicinity, but it's just tricky on the island. So the only way I get to do turkey hunting is if I actually go up to my family's property in Jefferson. Chris, we were there last year. You saw it. We used to have access to all those fields across the road, like I was explaining to you. That was really so down the road from my property is a dairy farm, and they got like 300-400 acres, rolling hills, hardwoods, fields, and that was primo for turkey hunting. Those transition lines. But for me, turkey hunting, it's fun. It's more tradition at this point. Normally it's like me, my dad, my brother, Chris, and I were just talking about it. We're probably going to go back up this year, and you can only hunt till noon. So you get out nice and early. You try to. We do pretty good getting out early the first day. I'll give you that.
What is it? What is this wee stuff?
Yeah. So
I not for nothing, everybody. I was up, and granted, we did a little bit of drinking the first night. I'm not gonna lie, but
I was good the first one. The second one was
some of us, and that means me and the chief, were up, dressed, ready to go, and there's Dave.
That's actually quite accurate, probably.
Fuck,
But anyway, it's more of a traditional style hunt for me. If I get turkey hunting, 3 or 4 days for that weekend, it's fun. So I would like to get into it more. I just wish it was easier on the island because I would definitely try it on public land. But regardless, I've been doing it for a while, so I always try and practice with the calls, and that's the Primos. That's going to be a little bit louder than the Slate, but again, if it's raining out, I'll hit this one. If it's nice and dry out, I'll stick with the Slate, and then
you're going to make me do this
for a couple of mouth calls.
I'm going to have to do this.
What do you got?
All right, stand by.
So nice and simple. I don't try and go too crazy with any wild cadences. Couple of yelps, some clucks, some purrs, and that's about it. I get nice and comfy in the blind, and I face the sun, and I relax. And if they come in, we try and shoot them.
All right, everybody, we're back. All right, so
Dave's going to send me. Did you just vest up? Oh boy!
Since Dave wants to show off calls, we'll talk calls here for a little bit. All right, so
Wild Game Freaks, what's going on? Yeah, Jason, if you want to send me something, by all means, I'll try them out.
Where the hell? Oh, all right. So I am not a fan of slate calls personally. I grew up on box calls, so I actually have 2 of them that I run. One is Lynch's Longbeard. Chalk it up, sand it down a little bit, not a lot. I mean, I've had this one my whole life. This was the first turkey call I got, and it is loud. This thing, birds from Ohio hear this when I'm calling in the woods, as everybody knows.
It is loud, yeah.
And what I do like about it, it's got 2 sides. So it's got the one side that's a nice young head, and the other side, I got to sand it down. It's a little, but the other side gets real raspy. So not for nothing, you can't go wrong with an old Lynch box call. I like the Longbeard. The World Champion is another good one. Another loud call that I have that I'm not, I don't want to say that I'm a super fan of it, but I don't care if I beat it up. I have the Primos hookup. And what I like is that it's magnetic when it hooks up.
Right.
So if you're sitting there and you want to cut, you want to give it up. You can play with it a little bit. So it's got an equal sound on both sides of the box. So that's not a bad one.
Yeah, a couple of guys have mentioned you can put a rubber band around it, hold it upside down, and you can use it as a gobble. I remember my grandpa doing that. He had about a 1/4-inch wide rubber band, not a large diameter, but it was a thick rubber band, and then he would just hold it upside down and shake it.
Let me see if I can do it.
It's almost
used to be able to do it. Then in addition to that, the only slate call that I really run is the Lynch's Jet Slate. It's a little 2-piece. It's nice because you can sit there and get those soft purrs. This is an older call. I don't even know if they make this anymore. This was given to me by my father, so I probably won't throw it away, but I don't use it anymore.
A newer edition. I think they kind of reworked something similar to that.
Well, as you saw, the one thing that I will carry, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, I will tell you guys this is actually a relatively cheap call. But what I like about it, it's one-handed operation. This is the Quaker Boy Easy Yelper, so you can sit there and get those soft purrs in there, and then you could, if you really needed to kind of get them to come in. But I do like the ability to have a one-handed, nice soft purr. What else do we got?
I got a question for you. With the bow, obviously you can use. We all know you can use your actual mouth. You've never tried diaphragm calls at all, or you just couldn't. Honestly,
you know what it is? I couldn't. I'm not going to lie because this is who we are.
Right.
I can't get it to work for some reason.
Right. Okay.
Any diaphragm that I've ever tried to work, I end up just like spitting it out. Maybe this year we'll try and figure it out, Dave. We'll touch tongues and make it work. But yeah, diaphragm calls. I have a couple of them, and no matter what I've tried, I can't make
Because
it
I'm
work.
just thinking for you with the bow, if you could be all the way up, full draw on your beep, and you can give them that last little. Burp, burp, burp. I mean, granted, you can do it with your mouth anyway, but
Well, that's not for nothing for anybody that's ever heard me call.
it is pretty good.
Michael Waddell ain't got shit on this guy when it comes to turkey calling, because he might call, but I don't need a mouth call. I just give it the.
I would love to arrange that little competition.
Anytime. Shout out to the bone collector, Michael Waddell. Anytime you want, the gauntlet has been thrown down. I'm ready for a turkey call shootout. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
we got a lot of comments. Have you been watching the comments at all? We got a lot of good dialogue here about the calls and just different setups.
What else?
Tommy, Outdoor Tommy's big on the mouth calls. He just prefers that over a slate or a box.
A lot of people do, and some people can get them. What I like about the box is you can get that noise out there. They're very loud, and when I get there and I cut, you can get gobbles way out there. So that's what I like about carrying a box call. I don't like to call a whole lot. Call them, let them know where they're at. Wait a little while. Just be patient. They're probably coming to you.
Yeah,
if you
less is more approach for calling, like waterfowl, same thing. Like we are not at the point where we're out there running a cadence of calls over 100 decoys, and you're actually most of these birds, if they're going to come in, they're going to come in. Chances are they're not.
Right. Around here, it's tough getting birds to come in, and when they do come in, they come in quietly sometimes. Mm-hmm. I've had birds come right in where they sneak up on you. You don't even hear it. You'll hear a gobble half a mile away. Next thing you know, you're like, what the fuck is this guy? And then he's like popping up like 10 yards from you. I'm like, oh, where the fuck did you come from? But
you cover some ground, man. They could pull a hill. They can cover some ground for those little legs.
Yeah.
It's impressive. Unfortunately, I've only got one bird under my belt, but I've had what should have been 3 successful hunts. And the other 2 required some running on my part. And I was shocked how fast a big bird can run with such little legs.
Oh yeah, dude. Turkeys are not slow.
Everywhere was a
turkeys are not slow. Listen, Dave, have you ever chewed on a turkey leg? You ever been to medieval times where they bring that out to you? Look at all that muscle that's there, man. Come on.
It, man. But he dropped down in the valley. Next thing I know, I saw him up the hill. I was like, holy shit. He was like 100 yards away, like this. Man. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, very fast. So
yeah.
Getting back to it real quick, I have this. It's actually, I think this might have been the first owl call I ever bought. I got it at Walmart when I was like 14. It's a Hunter Specialties Hooter. This is my owl call, and it's never let me down. So that's what I'm using, Woods. You want to hear it? We'll give it the old.
That's it.
And that's it. That's all.
That's a little distorted, but it sounded good.
Give you a little. That's it. Who cooks for you? Who cooks for you all? That's all you got to say into it. Follow that cadence. Normally,
I tell you to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Normally by that point, the birds are already. They're already pissed off. So.
I think there's a big difference also in the birds on the island compared to further up north. I swear the birds down here on the island, they have some of that Long Island attitude, and they're way more vocal than just going a couple hours up north. I don't know.
I would almost agree. It's hard to say because the birds down on Long Island, you have to think about all the reaction gobbles that they give throughout a given day. Right. They're exposed to so much noise, so many moving parts down on the island that I don't want to say that it's something that maybe they become numb to,
right? But
it's you don't experience the noise up here that you do on Long Island. Just like up here we hunt in trees, not telephone poles. So just to kind of put it into perspective for everybody. So if I had to say anything, Dave, that would be my answer to that. Is the birds on Long Island are just they're like New York City. I guess what you would call New York City birds. They're just assholes. They're just
Could be.
And
I want to word this very carefully because I don't want to come off sounding arrogant or cocky. In a flock of birds, if I stop, pull up, chances are, let's say out of 10 times, I can get those toms reacting. I would say probably a little bit more than 50% of the time, like 60 or 70% of the time, I can get that tom to gobble. And
you got to think the birds on Long Island, when you stop and get them to gobble, they're saying something different than when I call the birds up here. 100%. My birds up here are like, "Oh, what's up? I'm going. What's up, honey? How you doing over there?" When you do it on the island, they're like, "Yo, what's up?"
You're right.
What's up?
And I did post.
You ready to go?
Hey, I made it. I took like a minute out of a longer video, and it was a hen. So it was almost like that century hen, nonstop. She was yelping, almost like a locating yelp the whole time. I was letting her do her thing. I answered with a yelp. She kept going. The minute I actually hit, I'll call it my attempt of a cut on the mouth call, 2 times in a row, that tom went nuts. So I'm like, I would love to know, like, what is that hen doing and what made that tom really react 2 times in a row within like 10 seconds to me cutting? Like, what got him that fired up? Meanwhile, he's surrounded by other hens. Is that him squaring up? Was that a thing? Was that a territorial thing?
Possibly, yeah. I mean,
I don't know. Like, because I don't have enough turkey hunting background to really know. Like, and the other thing I put in the post, if you guys see it, check it out. If you got some time this weekend. Well, part of that question was, if this was a hunting scenario, you saw this in a field, what would be your move? Would you kind of go silent on them? Go dark on them, make them be like, "Hey, where'd you go?" Would you try and actually stealth and crawl up, make a move? I don't know.
I mean, I'll tell
with one of those fans here on Long Island. No, thank you.
I'll tell you this: the one thing that I have noticed up here, at least, if there's a bird that's henned up, or at least he's corralling his hens, trying to do his thing. If you come in and you intimidate that bird in any way, he's not going to try and come fight. He's not going to give a reaction gobble. He's actually going to push those birds off.
Okay.
He's going to keep quiet and push the ladies off to where he thinks it's safe again, as opposed to turning around and trying to fight. It's not like it's not like an elk where if you a bull elk is on a hot cow, where if he hears something, he's like, "No, I'm going to come fight." Up here, it's a little bit of the opposite. It's more they're going to, slowly say, "All right, come on, let's get out of here. Let's get out of this bar. This guy's drunk. Like we're not trying for any of this." I do want to take 1 second though. I put my vest down, and it is a Sitka vest, and it's probably one of the best turkey vests ever. So I want to take a minute and show everybody something, because everybody gives me a hard time about this, but I looked in the pocket. What do you see in there?
All right, good boy. Practice what you preach.
All right. I want to let everybody know I got like a ton of these.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody gave me shit about carrying a compass as one of my most essential things, but guess what? This never fails.
There you go. Squatch had a good point, as usual. Squatch, you're always right on the money with this, especially with the turkeys. This one I have heard. If that tom cuts you off, like mid-cut, mid-yelp, he's hot. Like he's ready for it. He wants to smoke. My minimal experience, 100% agree. Everything that I've heard or read, 100%. If they're not even letting you finish that cadence, you got them. But now it's, as a newer hunter, and I'll use myself for example, you definitely got to find that balance of, I think there is an art to going cold on them. If you got them fired up, and you can actually tell they're closing the distance, I think there is that point where if you go cold on them, it almost pisses them off more, and you can actually pull them in. But again, it's that fine balance. Maybe you go cold for too long, they find another group of hens, now you just lost them. So talking to these birds, we all, I think, would agree that we love doing it because we don't get that with the deer hunting. Like, obviously, you'll have deer responding to some grunts occasionally, but you have a better chance of getting birds to be vocal, responsive, and actually having that interaction with turkey hunting. So it's definitely a cool aspect to it.
Tommy had a good question. He said, "What's the typical decoy setup?" I'll answer that quick. I've always run a single hen decoy. That's it. I've never had luck with, Jake decoys, full strut birds. The way I was taught, and I learned a lot of turkey hunting from my father. He was a turkey fanatic. He could have given a shit less about deer hunting. In his experiences, you're calling a hen call, a single hen call from that box. That's why you use a single hen. There's no reason to put a Jake out there. There's no reason to intimidate him. He's coming in for one thing. It doesn't matter what's there. If he's got that hen to look at, that's what he heard. That's what he's coming to find. So a single hen. I use an Avian X decoy. I found that they're very realistic looking. So that's do I have her? I think she's up on the shelf.
I'm sure you're going to get a lot of pushback on that, I think, which is fine. It's good. It's great for conversation.
What do you mean? What do you think?
Like the decoy, because you'll normally get like a full tom, probably like a strut and Jake.
Well, it could be anything like goose decoys,
like decoys. Like sometimes that Jake is near that bedded down hen, and then a little bit further away you got a full fan tom. Right. I've only ran a hen. Anytime I go out, I take a single hen with me, and I put it on like, I don't know, a 24-inch stake, and that's it. I let the wind blow it. If it blows, that's it. It gives it a little life, if anything.
That's it. Let her blow.
Hey now.
Whoa. But yeah, no, that's Tommy. I use the LCD hen too in the upright. Because that's it. You got to think, if you're calling, what you're doing, that's a mating call. So if you're sitting there saying, "Come here, let's have some playtime," that hen's not going to be laying down. She's not going to be resting. She's not going to be feeding. Right. She's up. She's saying, "Yo, come on." Present that call. Present what you're calling. Same thing with and we could go on with other decoys. I'm a subscriber of less is more. Same thing with the calling. Even goose hunting. I'm not out there and I don't put out 100 decoys. Yeah. Sometimes I've had anywhere from 4 to 8 decoys at the most, depending on what the tides are, where I hunt. Geese mostly it's tidal water. So if there's the sandbars, it's low tide. Maybe I'll bring a couple standers out. I'll put them up there. I'll put a couple in a little J pattern, floating, and that's it. All you got to do is just give them something to look at that's not you. And with turkey hunting, that's it.
On that, yeah. Because it's a distraction. It's a decoy for their vision. So you never want to be like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You don't want your decoys at 12 o'clock and you're at 6 o'clock. No. You got to play your best bet where you think they're going to come from. We all know that plan gets turned around real quick sometimes, a lot of times. If you think they're going to come from your 3 o'clock, you don't want that decoy at 12 o'clock, which would be directly in front of you. Maybe 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Anywhere when that bird travels in, I know you guys can't. Well, you can see me on there. When they're coming in, they're not looking at you. They're looking at that decoy. So they'll hear it, but if you're too close to in that vision, they'll pick you out. No matter how good your blind is, it'll be that one time you go to get your hand on the trigger or something, and then that's it. Good luck. You're done.
I subscribe to the 10 and 2 theory. Like depending on where the sun is, and which direction I'm facing, I like them at 10 and 2. I want the sun shining on that decoy. I want that shine. I want it to be visible. Because what are the birds doing when it's sunny out? They're out there sunning themselves. They want to get warm. So naturally, what would a bird do? They're going to hang out in the sun. So if I can find a little high, a little piece of high ground that's maybe the slightest change of elevation from where I am, at 10 and 2 from the direction that I'm sitting, that I'm expecting that tom to come in from, that's where I'll set my decoy, set it up on the stake, and just very loosely, so it blows around with the wind, and that's it.
So how about this? Let's throw a complete wrench in the mix and let's continue the dialogue. Jason killing and grilling. We all know he gets on the birds. He goes, I set my decoys behind me. Turkeys look right past me. I think that's more like, I would almost say, like a veteran turkey hunter move to be able to pull it off.
And I would agree with that. If I'm not turkey hunting by myself and we're hunting with multiple people, that's a good strategy. To have, and where you would place your people, you're not going to sit next to each other at the same tree. The shooter is going to be up front, and what you want is the caller to be 40 to 60 yards behind you.
Okay.
This way, if you're in front of me 40 yards and you're getting ready to shoot, I'm calling that bird. He's going to be coming to me, which means he's going to get closer and closer to you. He's not looking for you. He's looking for me. So decoying, I could see the same thing. I don't know if I would put it behind me, maybe off, 9 or 3.
Yeah.
So this way he's going to walk where you have that shot, strong side or weak side shot opportunity, depending on where you're at. And it's also giving the bird something to look at while you're trying to shoot him. Yeah. But at the same time,
some private land to hunt as well. So there's a safety factor where there's certain setups you can get away with. As far as just a little tidbit, if I was on public land, that adds to where and how you kind of set up these decoys and everything. So we always want to err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Especially these knuckleheads here on the island there, where unfortunately they're going to shoot at the first thing that moves because everybody's excited to be turkey hunting again. So not knocking Jason at all. I'm not doubting the tactic either. It's just there's certain times where he's probably on his private land, certain tactics like that. And obviously we know he gets it done. So just figured I'd throw that out there. Sometimes it's good to touch on the safety factor.
Yeah. If we're touching on the safety factor, yes, make sure you always have
the orange flag.
That you got some kind of orange on my vest. It's got 2 strips, so I can put one up over my shoulder, one hanging down the back. While you're moving, you want to have that. One of the things, for those of you that hunt in Pennsylvania, you might know they actually want you to take an orange band and put it on around the tree that you're sitting at.
Yeah, I've heard.
So anybody that's seen some of my videos when I'm walking in the woods during rifle season, I'll have I have an old orange PT belt from my time in the Army, and I still carry it to this day because that's it. It straps around everything, and in PA they that's what they want. You have to have orange while you're walking, and when you're sitting down, they actually want you to strap something around the tree to let you know, hey, like there's a hunter here.
Is that called hunter up system or something? I think I've heard of it.
I'm not sure what mine is. Literally a PT belt from the PX that I.
There is a brand. I think it's called Hunter Up. I think down south, or it doesn't matter where, but I've definitely heard of it. It's almost like it's weird. It's very odd. It's like almost like a warning system for public land, where like at certain intervals you put a couple of signs up, like hey, you're getting close to where a hunter is. And then the last sign is like hunter up, and it's very close to where you're up in the tree stand. Me personally, I don't want to pay much attention to where I'm hunting. We all know the deal on what I've encountered this year on public land, so it's just a part of being on public land in my eyes.
See, what you got to worry about is the union goons coming around now that you're now that you're climbing the poles.
I got to stock on brown envelopes. You're right. I definitely get the brown envelopes. Maybe I got a guy. Maybe my boy Squatch can help me out. He's got a couple of guys.
Hey, yo. So anyway, all right. I do want to take a little bit of time in the show tonight, and I know we were talking turkey. We got a lot of stuff coming up right now. It's trout season here in New York, and not for nothing, I haven't even looked at my fly rod. I haven't looked at my waiter. I haven't looked at anything. I've been working super long hours, and it sucks. So anybody that's out there trout fishing, I wish you the best. Hopefully, I'll be able to get out in the next week or so and try and hit some of these streams. I know my fishing partner, he's been working as well, so it's tough, but. We do have some big announcements that we made in the past. So we're gonna try and talk about that a little bit now, if you don't mind, Dave. I do want to announce Dave finally grew up.
Oh, all right, I didn't know where you're going with that.
Dave became a man back in February, and He bought a saddle.
I did.
So I do want to, we were talking about it a little bit, and the problem, I guess it's not a problem, it's a good problem to have, is the saddle that Dave bought. They sell out so fast. Dave actually had to wait. He bought it at the show and had to wait for them to ship it to him because they sell like hotcakes. So, I know we've been waiting to go over this, and we've been kind of waiting to go through this setup. So now's the time. We're gonna bring it out. Dave, why don't you walk through your saddle setup? Tell us what you thought when you wanted to buy it. Kind of your thought process when you first sat in it, your initial reactions, and really some of the key points on what this is probably going to do for you this year.
Absolutely. So, like Chris touched on, this was at the Great American Outdoor Show in Pennsylvania. It was we were there the second weekend, so this was actually the Saturday. The Saturday, the second day before they were wrapping up. And, shout out to Aaron from Long Island Wanderers. He was working at the booth, at the Arsenal booth. And we knew that he was going to be there. So the biggest thing for me was physically trying this on, physically feeling it on my body. I'm a larger guy, so that's just a factor for the time being. So I, number one, wanted to make sure it would fit. Number two, make sure it would fit comfortably. And trying it on at the show, I had a pair of like cargo pants on. Very similar to what I would wear hunting, minus maybe a pair of thermals underneath or something. So like the outer layers for my base where the saddle would fit, very similar to real life hunting conditions, and plenty of adjustments. So that wasn't an issue. And quite honestly, the comfort factor was there. I have the stand and the sticks with me right next to me, but we'll stick with the saddle for now. I'm going to do a real nice breakdown video on this. And it's probably going to take a couple videos, but we're going to do an overview tonight of it. So this is the whole saddle here. And I was honestly surprised how large the actual saddle was. So this is the Cloud saddle made by Arsenal. And correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, normally a saddle they call it a two-panel saddle.
It really depends. Like the tethereds are actually one general piece of webbing in there.
So this is a single panel. I think this is where they were making a distinction.
Yes, some of them are depending on where they're sewn.
Right.
They may sew multiple panels. The tethereds, the Arsenals. I think there might be one more. I don't know if it's trophy line, but there's not all of them are single panel.
Right.
But that basically means that they take separate pieces of fabric and sew them together at a certain point, and that's a two panel versus taking one piece of material to create the actual, load supporting portion of the saddle.
Like a gusset almost, where your butt is, yeah. So we're going to start from the back. So obviously I'm going to have to cover my face for a lot of this. If you can't see something, just let me know.
Tilt your camera down.
I can tilt that down.
You've had like 16 comments saying the same thing, so there you go. Now you won't have to worry about it.
All right. So we're going to start in the back section here.
Back up a little bit.
This is something that most saddles don't have, is this extra lumbar support that goes that much higher up on your back. It's about 4 inches. You have the main saddle section and then an extension of about 4 inches of the lumbar support, which makes this really, really comfortable. And then all the molly webbing on the back. I don't know if that's something that the Cloud saddle is their own in-house technology, but they've started to integrate all these gear pouches, which this isn't a dump pouch. This is a full-on heavy-duty zipper. I mean, I got a lot going on here on the table. If you look at the teeth on that zipper, I mean, this is quality stuff here. This isn't just like a free here, take this when you buy a saddle. This is legit. And even these gear pouches, fully molly attachments. So you can get very, very versatile with how you want to mount this. Essentially, that gear pack is going to go somewhere on my saddle, somewhere in the back. I would say, if I had to guess, probably back center. The reason I say that, the Cloud saddle has 2 integrated pouch pockets on either side. So they've either gotten a lot of complaints from people about dump pouches. Some guys maybe love dump pouches, but I think these 2 oversized pockets here are money. Again, I haven't hunted out of a saddle yet, but my goal for next season is to be as light as possible with the gear. I'm going to have 2 pre-hung stands that are already going to be set up. So if I'm hunting out of those, I'm going to be very light going in, just my bow. But this saddle system right here, I don't need a fanny pack. I'm going to need a very small backpack for my sticks and my stand. But other than that, between this gear pouch, fully molly set up on the back, and then the oversized pockets, that's my storage. And then whatever tiny little pockets I have, like on my flannel or whatever, that's it. The bridge, something that is different that I'm, again, as I continue to do my research, the bridge is not a rope bridge. It's a fabric, flat, rectangular style bridge. So what I've been hearing is a lot of times these bridges normally like a Durabraid rope, and it's around and it slides on the carabiner a little bit easier. Some guys like this though, however, because it actually adds a little bit of friction. So as you're twisting, the carabiner actually grabs onto this flat bridge a little bit stronger. I can't speak on that yet. Again, I have to actually start using this, fit it to me, climb with it, and get up in the tree and start shooting. But the other night when I tested everything, comfortable, light, comfortable. You could take this whole saddle setup, minus my linesman belt here, and literally I could probably almost fit that like in my cargo pant pocket if I didn't want to wear it. So the packable factor is there. I could almost fit that in my pouch right here if I wanted to. And I have my whole setup right here, as opposed to a 45-pound freaking climber. So this is huge.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get a hang and bang stand. It's gonna be so much better than my climber. I don't need a saddle.
Yeah, I did have to swallow some pride with this. I got 2 more things. What's going on, Rob? How you doing, buddy?
8 seconds later.
All right. What do you think is more impressive, Chris? The platform or the sticks? I'll leave it up.
Okay, I'll tell you this. Personally, a platform is a platform to me. I'm not like I don't even necessarily need a platform. When I was younger, I used to cut down trees, so like I don't even really need a platform. I'll put on climbing spikes and just stick into the tree if I really need to. The Arsenal platform is nice. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying like it doesn't really matter what the platform is. I'll use anything. That being said, the sticks are what impressed me the most. We'll have to weigh them against the tethered one sticks to actually see what the weight savings is there. But Dave, do you have one of the sticks handy right there?
Yep. And we're going to go in a complete reverse order because me and you are oil and water. I thought the platform was quite impressive. I ain't going to lie. For the sheer fact of how thin it is. And
right, well, that just shows how much you know. Fucking amateur saddle hunter. Get on my level.
For them to achieve a safety rating of 400 pounds, don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure Arsenal was able to get 400 pounds fully tested, fully approved on this platform. And look how thin that is. And this is the exact one I stood on. And I stood all the way out. I stood all the way on the corners. And no deflection, nothing. So I was impressed.
It's not bad. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it.
5/16 thick, y'all up in the front here, if that.
Yeah. The one I'm just saying a platform is a platform, and in my opinion, if I had to pick what was more impressive between the platform and the sticks, I'm gonna go with sticks.
All right. Well, I got them right here, and we're definitely going to talk about them as well, as long as I don't break this thing packing it back up.
All right, so the real question is, now that Rob joined, when are you going to grow up finally?
I can't do it.
You can't or won't? Is it a matter of pride at this point?
That's probably part of it.
I did a good job of unwrapping these, but here's 3 sticks together.
What the hell?
Well, that's how they came. So these are 3 sticks together, but there's more to it than what you see here. These are telescoping sticks, so these are fully retracted at the moment.
You only have 3? I thought you got 4.
I do have 4. I got the other one here. So I was going to try and crack this one open loose to try and extend it. So if you can buy me some time, I can work on that to show them how it extends.
I was gonna say, obviously, I hunt out of a climber. I love my climber. I use a Lone Wolf. It's pretty lightweight for me. It's comfortable. It's not that big. But that platform that you just held up, that is pretty impressive.
In,
Yeah.
in case you're wondering, Rob, if it'll make it easier for your transition, if you will, Lone Wolf actually makes a saddle platform. Just so you know,
Dude, I have such a good system going. I'm not messing with it. It,
See,
it works.
I-
It works for me.
you say that now until we get you up to camp, and then you sit in Dave's saddle, you sit in my saddle. We get Mike up there. He's got his saddle, and then you're the lone man out. You're gonna be like, "Whoa." And
Dude, you came hunting with me. You saw how quick I could get up. It's
you saw what I was able to do in your backyard.
yeah.
just
No,
saying.
listen, like I said, it was impressive. The sticks are very impressive. I would probably get a set of those, to go up to a hang on in a couple of my spots. I would definitely do that, but I just
A preset hang on with those 4 pounds worth of sticks.
yeah, it's nothing, and then you don't have to worry about somebody stealing it because they can't reach it unless they go back with a ladder.
So while you guys were chatting away there, I was showing the stick fully expanded, and then these are obviously fully collapsed. It's going to be hard to show. There's red pins. Like if you see the red pins there on the bottom stick, that is actually how these sticks tie together. So
Yeah, they slide into each other, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's the same. That's the same on the tethered one sticks that I was showing
Yeah,
you.
I think it's a pretty industry
right in.
standard, but again, it just
No, not industry standard. These are the only 2 sticks that are using it like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Again, this is essentially as wide as I am. So if you think about that, between now I put a backpack on my back. If I needed to, I could run these sticks horizontally on that pack. And I'm not limited to having to run them vertically. So being that they're telescoping like that, I really thought that was interesting. And again, I didn't know they did that. And the minute I saw them, I was immediately hesitant because I was worried. I was honestly worried about this connection right here. This connection where
listen, Aaron. I'm not gonna lie. Aaron did a very good job of explaining everything about that connection because Dave, and to his point, he did voice these concerns and they were addressed immediately.
Yep. And basically what he said was, and it's true, when you come fully extended and you get full extension right there where the pins lock, you're not just relying on these simple little push pins. No. There's actually, was it Durabraid or was it proprietary for Arsenal?
It was, if I remember correctly, I think it was a proprietary Amsteel.
Yeah.
It was either Durabraid or Amsteel blend or some kind of proprietary blend cord that's inside there.
So what we were just talking about is that actually connects now from the extension piece inside the female housing of the bottom part of the stick, and then they anchor it. So no matter what, you could take both of these pins, pull this as tight as you can. I mean, we messed around with this stuff pretty good. It's not coming out. So my worry and my fear was this being a weak point. I feel confident enough saying it's not. Obviously, they've tested it thoroughly. The teeth on the stick, sharp, aggressive. You're going to get a good bite. Little things like this, even just putting a little reflector on your step as you're coming down. Little things like that. I just thought was.
Do I got to get the one sticks out and show you that they got the same thing?
Hey, I'll tell you what. Not having anything bad to say. We were there with Mike Nitre. We were there with Ambush Frank. A lot of guys that have used saddles before and seen a lot of different saddle products. Nobody had anything bad to say. And it's a newer product to the market. But the owner of this company has been in the game. He's been in the game with the Hawk Helium platforms and sticks. So it's not like he's a newcomer to the business.
Right. To that point, it's not necessarily a business secret. This is,
right.
I guess well known, but not well known, but it's known. The owner of Arsenal Stands, the guy that actually sits there and designs everything and owns the company, he started Hawk. So if you've heard of Hawk tree stands or Hawk Helium, he sold that company and started Arsenal Saddles. So if you like Hawk, try Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's, and not for nothing, it is 100 times better product.
Even to the point, this platform has a little belt loop. Again, just little simple things like that. I can literally take that belt loop, hook it to the molly attachment on my saddle.
Well, not just that, Dave. And anybody that's interested in this, you check out Arsenal. You'll see these videos. They actually have attachments so you can carry right on your back, your platform. So while you're climbing with your linesman's belt, setting up your sticks, when you get to your desired height, and you got your you have your platform. Whereas I will say with my tethered, I clip it to my belt. I do have a smaller platform. I like that smaller profile, but it is still hanging there, if you will. Where this, it's secure right on your back. It's a pretty good system.
And that's,
shit, we got Squatch. Now he wants to buy one. We're in.
Oh, really? I'm just trying to catch up with all the comments right now. All right, there's too many to catch. It looks like Tommy was going into it. I know Outdoor Tommy, he's a big saddle hunter as well. He has the same setup. And it's not, we don't push products. You know what I mean? We're number one.
Except for Sitka. We will push Sitka forever.
We're not at that point. We're very humble. Obviously, with a couple of the sponsors, not even a sponsor, the field staffs like Moultrie. Yes. Do we have certain obligations to talk about them? Yes. We're trying to keep you guys as our friends, or you're the first time hunter out there. At least just try and give you honest feedback, honest info, not steer you one way or another. I think I was a perfect candidate, coming from never using a saddle before. So I'm just being honest with my experience with this. Now, I can get halfway through the season and absolutely hate it. I don't think I'm going to, but I don't think it's going to be because of the products. I'm very happy with the quality. The price point was honestly very good. That is one thing I will recommend if you have a chance to get to the Great American Outdoor Show or something similar to that, where you could see all the equipment, feel it, touch it, try it, climb it. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. On top of that, it's normally you give yourself a little room for discounts, without a doubt. So that was just kind of the cherry on the top at that point, saving myself a considerable amount of money. I'll put it that way. So that's it. I'm glad we touched on that. I'm glad I finally got the saddle. But to their point, they've been selling them. So they're not going to be selling a lot of them if people aren't buying them. So you guys take that for what it's worth. Now, the next step is getting my butt in a tree and hanging from it and shooting from it, because that's a whole other animal.
Well, when we get upstate, it's going to be hard to find a telephone pole, Dave. So,
well, I actually have a phone pole. I actually have a phone pole on the property. We might have to rig something up real quick.
All right, so there you go. Train as you fight. Who?
That's right. What do you got, Mr. Rob, besides needing a haircut?
Yeah, we just got back from Turks and Caicos yesterday.
Nice, man. How was that?
Still recovering.
What do you mean? How was it? You don't see that he's a lot tanner than usual.
I look Puerto Rican now.
All right, it's a good show, Chris.
All right, well, thanks for joining, everybody. We're about to get canceled.
We started with turkey talk. You big with turkey hunting at all, Rob? Do you do any turkey hunting?
I have. I enjoyed it. It's fun. I mean, I didn't get to hear the beginning because I was putting my kids to bed, but
it's all right.
Like, with the
it sounded a lot like this.
Yeah.
For about 20 minutes.
Bear hunting gives me a rush, but I'm the next biggest rush I get is hearing that gobble first thing in the morning. And then turkeys are tough, man. They're not easy. Like, people will call them stupid, people will call them, everything, but they have some incredible eyesight.
Oh.
I've gotten picked up, I can't tell you how many times, and had them coming in and didn't see them. So I've gotten a few turkeys, nothing crazy. I always wanted to get one with my bow, and someday I'm sure I'll get an opportunity at it.
What else gives you a rush, Rob?
Oh, let's hear it.
Waking up in the morning and hearing lions and hyenas outside your hut.
Yeah, I can see that too.
I'm just saying, bro.
Actually, you know what? While we were in Turks and Caicos, they were selling these bracelets by it was like Fallow or somebody, and it was a line that you could adopt. And I was going to get it for you to make sure you didn't kill your own line. You can track them; they have trackers on them, and
if I'm paying for him, I should be able to do with him as I please.
Freaking jungle cat in the bathroom. What's going on?
Why'd the tracker stop?
Yeah. Oh man. All right. What else we got? What else we got to talk about on this open mic night? What time is it even? Oh, it's at that time already.
We got a little bit of time. We can keep going. We're doing pretty good here. So
anything in the comments? I mean, there's been a ton of comments tonight. I think they're just doing their own thing at this point.
I think we won the comments. We won. Squatch needs the saddle.
He said that?
Yeah. He said, shit, bro. Now I'm gonna have to get one. Touchdown.
All right, well, keep us in the loop, my man, without a doubt.
Yes, Squatch. I am gonna bring. I want to announce this here since it is a night of firsts. We are on 3 different platforms right now.
That is pretty cool.
And I'm less than 8 weeks away from Africa, so I don't think anybody's going to be able to get over there and do this before me. John and I are bringing our saddles to Africa, and we intend to be the first people to harvest animals on safari in Africa from saddles. You heard it here first, folks.
Very cool.
When I picture trees in Africa, I'm being serious. Like, you're not going to have that many, and you're going to be very low, right?
Well, welcome to saddle hunting, Dave.
Okay. No, I picture like real scraggly, like brush almost.
Listen, there are some trees. We're
Dave,
not going to
I don't think it matters. He's going to make it work.
Yeah, one way or the other, we're going to figure this out.
Whatever.
Even if he's a foot off the ground, he's going to be standing in that saddle.
And Chad just brought up a big point.
I'll stand on a boulder. No, I'm in the saddle.
Chad just brought up a good point. Yes, until a leopard gets us. We've already been in discussions of this about how to get up there, how to do this safely, because we want to make sure that when we get up there, something isn't staring us in the face when we get set up. So we are going to test this out. We are going to figure this out. And from all of my research, this is going to be a first. So we'll see what happens.
I got a quick question. This is all new to me. I really don't know much about saddles. I know with my climber
yet.
Yeah, I know with my climber, there are certain trees that it doesn't hang on. It's almost like they're too hard to have it, attached. Are you going to have that issue in Africa?
Well, I will tell you, I've climbed a number of different trees with my saddle. And because when you're in the climber, you're set out farther. So I don't want to. I'm an engineer, so I'm going to get all mathy on you right now. when you're sitting on your platform on your climber, your bite is here, and you're way out here with the weight. All right, so you would think leverage is actually working for you, but in this case, your weight is actually working against you because your bite is not what's holding you; it's actually the strap.
Correct.
When you're on a saddle, you're much closer. So therefore, your weight is going to drive those teeth in, and that strap is a lot lower. So where your teeth and your strap are right here. So all that weight is concentrated in a smaller area versus spreading that load out.
To Rob's point, I think it could just be the species as well. Like you get in the middle of winter on like a red or a black oak where that bark is just like concrete. I know for a fact I've had some oh shit moments climbing down or attempting to climb up on a real cold winter.
Oh yeah.
And you don't have that section fully really I'm talking kicked in. And you go to move that upper section and you drop a couple of feet and that'll wake you up, man. If it's the morning time, scary.
It doesn't have to be the morning time. It happened to me in the middle of the afternoon.
Whatever time it is. Granted,
you'll pucker up real quick.
Yeah, granted on me, I should have been tied in the whole time, but We're human. We get comfortable sometimes. And yeah, I wasn't fully tied in at that moment, and I dropped about 8 feet straight down. And luckily, I was able to stab it back in.
Yeah.
And scary. So, without a doubt, I think with these platforms though and these sticks, I mean, I'm just looking at this. I mean, that's
Well, Dave, do me a favor. Open that up. So I mean, just so I can kind of explain.
and then once you cam it down too. I mean, once you really cam this sucker down.
Yeah, and that's another point, Rob. When you, Dave, hold it up this way. Now hold the bridge portion and close the platform. Now what you can do, Rob, you can stand on that little piece up top.
Yeah.
Push that down. So now all the tension is on your strap, and cam that down to really get that extra leverage when you bite in.
Yep.
Same thing like a hang on. Any good
I was just going to say that. Same as the hang on. Yeah.
Same principle. But it's worth mentioning, man. We're starting. There's going to be a lot of things maybe I bring up when I'm doing these videos. It may seem like day one stuff for a lot of us out there, but you know what?
Because it is.
But you know what? Just a simple reminder, man. Cam that. Look at how the Barrett's dad. He went out there to check a stand for his buddy, and that strap broke on him. You know how many tree stands has that guy hung in his life? He probably went up there to cam it down and reset it, and the strap broke on him. So, it's going to happen quick. Check your straps, take it to the season, whatever. Like anything
goes for anything in life. Listen, anything. Dave and I both work in construction, so we'll tell you this: anything that's a life safety harness or a strap or anything that's life safety rated does have a shelf life. That shelf life, according to OSHA, is 5 years. Just because you're not on the job site doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking the same approach to your hunter gear. All right. If you have a hunter safety harness that's older than 5 years, you should replace that. Any of your equipment that has flexible straps that are made out of a non-metal material, every 5 years, replace them. It's good practice, and it's going to keep, and it's for your safety. At the end of the day, you want to go home, hopefully heavier than you came in, but you want to go home nonetheless. So make sure you guys are checking your equipment. Make sure you're replacing your equipment on schedule. It only benefits you. All right. I used to be I say it, like, I used to think I was a tough guy when I was a kid. I didn't wear my hunter safety harness. Huh?
Used to think you were a tough
guy? Listen, I'm still a tough guy, but now I follow safety rules. All right. I might do safety professionally now. So, I should probably practice what I preach, but like I never, when I was younger, I didn't wear my harness. I was like, oh, what do I need this for? I'm never going to fall out of my climbing stand, until that one day when I slid down the tree, and I'm like, yeah, never again.
Yeah. On a funny side note, my dad was with me that morning. He was about 100 yards away, and his comment tonight in the chat I'm looking at, it sounded like he was wrestling a lawn chair, and that's probably pretty accurate for what a climber sounds like falling down. So yes, again, it's those simple things we always touch back on. It, safety factors, whatever it is. If it's maybe it's just that subtle reminder, and it helps somebody out. So there's no reason we can't touch on it by any means. All right, we're getting
safety third.
Say top three. So it's 8:40. Tommy, I saw your comment about the battery pack for the Moultrie. It's charging. This is going to go into kill cam 8 tomorrow for my second turkey camera. I will update you guys the best I can as far as how well this holds up. The true test is going to be when I actually set this out this summer for a long sit for the deer season. That's when I'm really going to use this to its full potential. But really great idea. This was one of the perks. We got accepted to the field staff at Moultrie, and very generous of them. They gave us 2 cameras, 2 edge cameras, 2 rechargeable battery packs, and 2 of the flex mounts. So if you guys are interested, by all means, reach out to Moultrie. If you use their products already, especially, let them know that the field staff is still open. They're committed to their team members. Again, you can see a couple of boxes kicking around in the background there. They're good cameras, just straight up. They're good cameras. The app is really user friendly. It's very useful. So you see a lot of posts about us. You hear us talking about it a lot. Some of it's obligation, yes, but we're also trying to help the community and just let everybody know about good products. If something works, why not share that experience? And we're all very good with that. We're very honest. no matter what the product is. So
That's it. Listen, we don't receive a dime for it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're gonna give you guys the straight dope on whatever we're using. That's it, good or bad, unless it's Sitka, because there is nothing bad about Sitka. So, just if you're interested, spend the money on Sitka, please. Do yourself a favor.
we're definitely going to have some content coming. I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of the local, not the local team, well, them too, but I'm trying to put something together at my family's property this summer, a quick little weekend where it's really going to be just gear based. Like we show up, we can shoot a little bit with the bows, and honestly, saddle. Everybody bring their saddle setups, bring whatever you're using, and it'll be great for content. It's a great learning experience. We all see how everybody does things different. So keep an eye out for that. Just a quick little weekend trip for the local guys that are near New York, and that's it. I'll have a lot more coming for Arsenal, the platform, the sticks, the saddle. We got plenty of time for that. But before we know it, man, it's gonna be full on deer scouting time. Before we know it, which just means more ticks and more Tyvek suits. Great.
Listen, all right, and I'll tell you this, Dave, in front of everybody: do what you got to do to get the deer, man. If that's what it takes, do it. Don't be afraid of it.
I'm not. I've just been very fortunate with. I have had a lot of ticks on me to pass, but I've gotten them off of me. It's a running gamble. That's the only unfortunate part, especially with the Lone Star ticks we got on the island.
Yeah,
they're not something to mess with. So again, spray down, long sleeves. I don't care how hot it is. Spray down, long pants, long sleeves, socks. Tuck everything in. Doesn't matter what you look like.
Well, I'll tell you the story if you listen. For anybody that doesn't know, listen. I had Lyme disease, and it almost killed me. I spent 5 days in the ICU, and my heart almost stopped because of it. Dave's not wrong. Spray down. Make sure you guys are checking yourselves when you come out of the woods, because it's no joke. If you do get bit by a tick, if it's still in you and you pull it out, save the tick and consult your doctor. Don't wait. A guy that I work with waited. He lives on Long Island, just like Dave. He actually doesn't live too far from Dave. Got bit by a tick. Didn't listen to me when I told him my story that, listen, I got bit by a tick. It almost killed me. Please go get checked out. He waited for 6 weeks, started getting sick. Next thing you know, he's got Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Yep.
So the sooner you go to your doctor, the better. Fortunately, I got sick right away, and I was in the hospital within 2 weeks. But yeah, because I got sick, so I didn't even know I got bit for about a week. I honestly, I had flu-like symptoms. I thought I had the flu.
Yep.
After I found the bite site, I was like, oh, damn. 4 days after that, I was in the ICU. So it can come on that quick. You can go for months without symptoms. If you see a tick, it doesn't. I never had the bullseye. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it. But definitely check yourselves. If you pull the tick out, you find a piece of the tick, save it. They can test the tick for Lyme, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, Pavassan's disease, anything. And definitely consult your doctor as soon as possible. The sooner, the better. The sooner they can treat, if they test you and find you're positive for something, early treatment is better than later treatment. That's how you prevent those longer term symptoms of Lyme's disease that you hear. Fortunately for me, I got sick right away. It nearly killed me, but it was caught quickly. So I was on a shit ton of antibiotics for like 2 months. I was in the hospital, but now I have no symptoms of it. When they test my blood, and they do test it regularly, you can't even tell that I had Lyme's disease. So that's it. To Dave's point, spray down, check yourself. And if you are bit, please just consult your doctor. Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, you had a good note, though, that I was even going to mention. Save that. Put it in a Ziploc bag with the date that you found it. And it may seem odd, but if you don't get a rash, you don't get any symptoms, you can always throw it out. Save that tick. Whatever portion you find, just put it in a bag, write Sharpie marker on it, the date, because for all the reasons Chris just said.
Well, they will. The lab, to that point, the lab will actually take the tick. If you bring it to your doctor,
Mhm.
they'll take that. They'll actually test whatever material you have,
Right.
whether it's the whole tick, just the head, the body.
Right.
Not only will they test your blood, they will test the tick as well.
Okay.
So
There's no stopping them. It doesn't matter how cold the winter gets, which we don't get really cold winters anymore. Doesn't matter what spray you use. We all know about permethrin and DEET and all this other. It doesn't stop them. You can limit them a little bit, but I know I joke about it. But literally, the one spot, which is the swamp that I'm going to be hunting pretty much all next season, the summertime prep work, I literally have to wear a Tyvek suit to get there, to get a stand hung, to get 2 cameras in, and to kind of clear some access just to get in.
well,
I'm not doing this to like make a funny video. It's literally the safest way for me to get in there, because the minute I'm out, I literally ball that up, put it in a garbage bag, and throw it out. Like before I even go near my truck. Like that's how bad it is.
I got a question, because Dave, you have spots, and normally they're swampy spots where you get loaded up. I was out in one of my swampy spots. It was 32 degrees out. It was freezing. I put a video up, or a photo up. I found one on me.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, in your experience, where do you find, do you find ticks on yourself in some of the places that you hunt? And if so, what are the conditions around those spots that you seem to find where you'll find ticks on you versus places that you won't?
So that's a good question. In my experience, there's actually, I feel like there's been better and worse years, where I don't know if there's much difference, really in the weather, or it's all the same locations, but, I might walk out of the woods one day and have 12 on me, and then the year before that, I maybe didn't have any, you know. I think it's also, you got to be careful, but no matter how careful you are, they're still going to get on you.
Yeah.
You really can't control that. I had Lyme's disease also, and it was bad. I had it I had to go through the medication twice, and it sucked. I always achy, migraine headaches. It was horrible.
Like
And it
the
just,
worst flu symptoms you can get, pretty
oh
much.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was terrible. And I finally, went for the blood work. And I was actually going to start going to this. I don't even know what you would call the doctor, but they basically pump you full of IV medications to try to flush your entire system out. And it would have been out of pocket. And you had to go every single day for, I don't remember how long it was. Um, and I called my doctor up to try to get some information for this other doctor. And my doctor was like, "Oh, you don't have it." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you never told me." Like, it would have been nice to know that I didn't have it anymore, and I had been feeling better, after doing the medication and everything. Um, but I didn't know that I still wasn't positive, so getting back to your question, well, Chris, you've been with me, in, a lot of the spots. Um, there's really not many places that you can go where you don't get hit by them. You just got to do a really good job on the way in, on the way out, check your body, check your gear, check your pants. And even still, I mean, how many ticks were we, picking off of us crawling up, our legs and stuff, and flicking out the window as we were driving to the next spot. Um,
It's that at home.
Unfortunately,
You
it's part of the
need
game.
an hand.
What was that?
It's when you're at home, honestly, you need that extra set of eyeballs that you can't see.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
unfortunate that's where they're going.
yeah,
You gotta get creative.
absolutely.
Well, I no, I agree with you guys. I've gotten home from hunts or times being in the woods. I've taken a shower. I'm in new clothes, and I would be laying in bed and I feel something on my leg, and I'm like, what the I find a tick crawling on me. So
Yeah,
just be vigilant, guys. Again, same thing with checking your gear. Just be vigilant on everything that you're doing. I mean, it's
And Squatch is like, use a lint roller. I started using that a couple years ago. That is one of the one of the key things that goes in my trail camera box when I'm hanging trail cameras, a lip roller. You'll get all the chiggers, you'll get a lot of the ticks off, and that's just part of the keep that in like that essential gearbox when you're going out. No doubt. Gentlemen, I think we're at that point though. We're coming up on an hour and a half. That's a good time, I think, for an open mic night. Let's start wrapping it up. We'll start right at the top with Chris or even Rob. Let's give Rob a shout out. He's been taking care of our schedule. Production manager. If anybody hasn't met him yet, please be sure to follow all his pages. Rob, why don't you let everybody know the pages you got going for yourself?
All right. So whoever doesn't know me, I am a first responder. You know, my new Instagram name, I guess, is Archery Ops.
I'm a first responder. I work crazy hours and I'm so tired all the time.
I actually have to go in now. I was going to nap, but just so you guys know how important you are.
Attaboy.
You know, so I have that page, and then I also have my Mountain Man deer processing page. If you guys can, if you don't already, please give me a follow. Definitely looking to do more with, obviously you guys, Dave and Chris, and just kind of keep building and keep growing, keep seeing where this is going to take all of us,
to the moon.
Absolutely. But if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna head out.
You got it.
So I can nap for a little bit.
All seriousness, Rob's show. He handles all the scheduling. He's the one reaching out, getting us guests, keeping that schedule filled. And it's not easy. We're working on like a 3-month schedule right now. And people like tonight, people have real lives. They come up, and now that schedule is constantly getting reworked. So Rob is 100% a part of this show. He does a lot in the background for us. So thank you, bud.
Listen, absolutely. For you guys, anything, whatever you guys need. I'll keep working.
What a man.
I'm a first responder. I gotta go to sleep because I work night shifts.
I work Monday to Friday.
You two are so cute. All right, producer Chris, what do you got for us, buddy? Let's start wrapping it up.
All right, so everybody, if you haven't already, head over to YouTube after the show. Check out @Pursuit Live. All right, we have the show up on YouTube now. Please smash that subscribe button. It helps us get the show out there, and we're trying to reach a bigger audience and just help spread this message. If you're not already on Instagram, Pursuit Live Official, follow the page. You see we're live from it tonight. That's where that's where you can find all the Pursuit Live content. Just a quick shout out to our our co-branded sponsors and partnerships with Moultrie Mobile, Fourth Arrow Camera Arms, Winscent Scent Dispersing Technologies, and Nighthawk Footwear. While I'm at it, just a quick shout out: Mountain Man Deer Processing, NYPD Archery, the American Bear Foundation, and Red Sky Safaris. If you haven't already, please check out Red Sky Safaris and look into booking your South African safari adventure. It's cheaper than an elk hunt, everybody. All right. Let me just throw that out there. If you want to spend some money and actually have an awesome hunt, maybe think about going international. With that, my page, Only Bows, @Only Bows Official. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So that's me. That's who we are. Dave, what do you got for us before I take us out?
I'll make a nice little segue as far as going to Africa. One of the lead guides, I think, is actually going to be doing an arrow build. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed with Warhead Arrow. So that'll be pretty cool. We get them over to Africa with you guys and a successful hunt on top of that. So obviously I'm on the field staff with Warhead. I am a big fan of their products. And again, not us pushing it. We're just trying to let you guys aware of good products. So if you're in the market for an arrow build and you want to shop a little bit more, let's say not so much top brand, but support a very good business, check them out. Warhead Arrow Company, they're based in Ohio. The quality's there, the price point is there. I shoot them. My quiver is filled with. I have 5 of their 300 spine exothermics, and they're great. Honestly, that's all I'm shooting at this point, whether it's target practice or in the field. So check them out. Moultrie Mobile, you guys are great. Thank you so much for all the support. And on a personal note, Scent Assassins. It's hard to promote Scent Assassin and talk about them until the season comes. But they're a great company. They have a very extensive product line. For all you scent junkie guys out there, please go check them out. Instagram, all their other social medias. And it's a good product. I take a little bit more of a simple approach with my scent control. But again, no matter what level you're at with that, they have products for you. Other than that, the raffle we all know about. I know we've been talking about it for a while, but I really want to be able to reach our ticket quota. We had a very high goal as far as the donations we wanted to do. The last thing we want to do is come up short and end it early. So we're really trying to hit our goals. All the promotions that we've talked about for all the pages, Only Bows, Mountain Man Deer Processing, myself at Urban Pursuit, but then honestly, Pursuit Live Instagram and the Pursuit Live YouTube. As much exposure as we can get to that. Please keep tagging us, sharing it. Please feel free to share anything. Just tag us in it by all means. Anybody that has an Instagram account or a YouTube page knows exposure helps. Even if it's just a like, a follow, a comment, even just simple comments helps with everything. And thank you very much again for tuning in. We apologize our guest couldn't make it tonight, but again, we're going to be right back at it next week at 7:30.
And with that, thank you everybody for joining. We appreciate your support. We'll be here next week and every week at 7:30 right here on Instagram and also now Facebook and YouTube. So please, if you haven't already, please follow our pages. Check us out. We'll be coming soon to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Rob, Dave, thank you guys for joining. We apologize, everybody that joined, we apologize that our guest had to cancel. But again, this is real life. That's what happens. So with that, please check out our raffle if you guys are interested. On a personal note, Rob, when we take him deer hunt or bear hunting, we'll set him in a great spot.
I'm the bait,
and then we're just gonna sit 100 yards away and turkey call the whole time.
Why am I covered in maple syrup and sugar?
All right, so with that, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again next week right here on Pursuit Live. Good night.
Thanks, guys.
Later, guys. Rob, thanks for tuning in. Everybody be good.